Welcome to Tuesday Night Torg on the Ulysses International channel. I am JM, your GM, and this is the group of horsemen that I have with me. Although with a Dinos, Genevieve, and Edith, maybe horse people, horse entities. Um, yes, so welcome to the stream. This is our second to last Torg session for the year. So just a brief update. We are going to be taking the last 2 weeks of the year off. Wish us luck. I hope you have a great holiday season, but we will be wrapping up tonight and next Tuesday at least these three horsefolk stories before returning back in 2020. Also, I should point out we've had several technical issues that are out of our control right now, so if suddenly the stream goes dead, also wish us well, and we will be back next week, hopefully, when all of these things have smoothed themselves out. But when we last left off with you three, you guys had met a lovely Russian grandmother and her three adopted grandchildren. And while Lady Salvo, Anton, and two of these children, two of these grandchildren, went back to Bergen to attempt to stop the Kleist monks from doing whatever they were doing, and I'm sure they're doing fine. There's nothing to worry about there. Solomon agreed to take the three of you to the east to meet with their contact, their black market contact known as the Deathless. So that is where we're going to pick up. I will just point out, in case... yes, Phantom Ice, that's a fair assumption. If the stream cuts out, it just means all of the Storm Knights have died on the stream. Before I forget, as our crew is beta clearance, you can go to the Ulysses International website, and they have two free PDFs. There is a beta clearance guide for players, which gives you new perks. It kind of explains a little bit more of the Delphi Council organization, as well as explaining what beta, gamma, and delta clearance are. And then they have one for GMs, which chat has constantly been referring me to, and I appreciate you for pointing that out. It's the thing that says, hey, by the way, at beta clearance, the GM gets 2 possibility per Storm Knight. Now, just so my players know, reality-rated foes are still the only ones who can spend possibilities to soak. So non-reality rated foes, they can just use them to make sure that they hit you and they hit you hard. So, I think all of our bookkeeping is in order. So, as you wave goodbye to Anton and Lady Salvo, Babushka and Solomon are standing on the... they're going to be fine. Like, I don't foresee anything bad happening to them or anything radically going sideways in what seems to be a simple mission to sneak into a mine. They're fine. So, Solomon kind of, when is it that you are wishing to leave?
We're ready to go.
Yes? Okay, it is a journey to the Deathless's camp. I have radioed ahead and let him know that you are coming, and he is very interested in meeting folks such as yourself. We will go into the snow cat, and we will be on our way. All right, and so you pile into this large tracked vehicle, enclosed, and most importantly, heated cab. It's a little cramped because normally it fits 3 people comfortably, and it's now fitting 4 and a pterodactyl. Much like some sort of Soviet clown car, the 4 of you and Solomon get into this thing, and it roars to life, and you can see standing on the porch is the little Russian grandmother waving bye to you, and then you see her kind of pause, and she picks up one of the rifles, and she sights, and she pulls the trigger and goes flying back into her house. So, they say you're storm knights. What does that mean?
Are we not going to talk about what just happened to
Yes,
Tobit?
is your grandma okay?
I'm sure she's fine. And he kind of points, and you can see that she shot a caribou. Like it's just lying there in the snow.
Okay.
She's fine. It happens all the time. I tell her to brace. She does not brace. She says bracing is for weaklings.
Mm.
She's a strange woman. Many of your kind are strange to us.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, what was your question? I got distracted.
Storm Knights. They call you this. What does that mean? What is Delphi Council? I heard these terms bandied about.
We go where we're needed to restore normality, sort of.
Hmm. And what is this normal that you speak of?
Exactly.
He
My
kind of
normal involves
he nods in
monster
a very
hunting, so-
sage way, as if he and Edith have somehow connected on some sort of philosophical level. So, what brings you to Tharkold?
We've been chasing after I don't villain doesn't seem like the correct term.
Revenge. Revenge is what we're after.
Revenge is something I understand. My people have been at war for thousands of years with what you call the techno-demons. We would refer to as the Tharkoldu, the hunters of the air. Who has wronged you?
She's from the Nile Empire.
I'm not familiar. What town is...
It's south of here, a little ways south of here.
Is it from Dirt? That is the name of your planet, yes? Dirt?
Earth, yeah.
Yes, Dirt. That is what I said.
Not quite.
Close
yes.
enough.
It's a part of Earth. Their ways are very strange.
Is it a different cosm or same cosm?
Different cosm?
Nile Empire
Different
is a
cosm.
different cosm.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but you are nowhere near this
But it's
place.
also there's a lot of yeah, there's been some crossover. It's very worrying, and we need to find her.
Yes, I understand the worry. Things coming from different realities are often not what you expect. Take us. We come from the same places. The hunters of the air, and yet the race has found a new life here on Earth. And
Yes.
there's hope that here we will thrive. We definitely lost the war with the Tharkoldu. So you go about searching for vengeance, hunting evil, righting wrongs, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that seems to be a typical day these days.
Yes, there is a word in our language for you. Naive.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be a 5 to 6 hour drive to get there. Is there anything you guys want to ask him? Is there anything you would want to do with a little bit of downtime?
Are we paralleling the route that the army would be taking at all, or are we way off?
You are several miles north.
Okay. Would I
You're
be
actually heading
able-
more to the north even now.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, would I be anywhere in range to maybe pick up any of their comm chatter from the transport?
I mean, maybe. Give me a computer roll.
Okay. I will take that 16. That gets me to a 16.
You're able to pick up a little bit of the chatter. There's not a whole lot of chatter going on between the convoy, but it definitely sounds as if they are probably going to reach the town of Barakin later today.
Oops.
Oof. Tough timing.
There's not much for them to resupply there. Okay. Do we hear any mention of Lapis or any of the names of her associates we recognize? No.
None
Agridory.
come up.
Have I had any dreams from my Delphi Council contact?
You have not received any more dreams from your Delphi Council contact. It's a good question, though. Why don't you give me a faith roll? See what may arise. Edith, what will you be doing?
So we've already spoken with these folks back at the house.
A little. You haven't really gotten any one-on-one time with Solomon.
16.
I'm just wondering if he's. I mean, we've noticed crossover between the realms.
I mean, we are far enough out of Tharkwood proper that we very rarely see the Tharkoldu. I'm not sure that I have necessarily seen anything from a different cosm, save for whatever is going on with those monks in the monastery. Does not feel like it is normal to your place, your reality, to have such things there.
No.
And of course, the 5 of you.
Yes. Well.
We are an eclectic bunch.
Obviously, we're crossing over. We've been searching for the source of these disruptions.
You said you have an enemy that you seek vengeance against. Who is this person?
Her name is Lapis.
And she has hurt you deeply?
She's hurt some of us deeply. We've been blown up. We've been.
Yeah, I have a good friend.
Normal day at the office, really.
What were you saying, Tyrannic?
Sadie. She hurt my dear friend Sadie very badly. I rolled a 16. Does that get me a dream?
It may later tonight when Tyrannic falls asleep.
All right, I'll get the sleepy time tea.
All right. Well, the journey continues. It's cramped, it's uncomfortable. It's especially cramped for Tyrannic because you're actually, I think it probably is most uncomfortable for Peaches, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But soon, the barren wilderness of the snow sort of gives way to broken hills, several more trees breaking up the distance, and you do see a short, long bunker kind of set in what feels like the middle of nowhere. You don't see, I mean, the snow is thick enough, you don't see any roads. You see a couple of what may have been at one point power line structures. And Solomon says, "Welcome to the Deathless's house."
Are you coming in with us?
If you like, I can introduce you. You can see there are two large snowplows that are starting to rumble to life as you approach the bunker. They look as if they're clearing something off. They're making large passes in the snow, turning around, kind of coming back. And as soon as Solomon opens that door, the chill wind just comes rushing in and kind of steals all of the heat from inside the cab. Come along. And he gets to the door, and you can see that there's a thick layer of ice on the door, and he sort of pounds at it a couple of times to get the lock free, turns it, pulls it open, the ice kind of cracks as he pulls it open, hitting the ground, and warm air comes out of this small entryway, and you can hear, "Oh, Solomon, come on in. I hear you have Delphi Council representatives with you." You walk in and you see kind of standing there in a robe, wonderful cravat, with several mugs sitting on a table and a teapot that has steam coming out of it, and he pours himself a cup of tea. "Welcome to my current abode. I'm the one that Solomon said you wish to speak with. People in these parts call me the Deathless."
Jam, refresh my memory. The connection card, is that what got us in the door? I don't actually know the Deathless.
That is correct.
Okay. Why
Chat,
are you giggling?
because chat was like, at least they didn't tie Peaches to the front of the truck.
Oh no. Too far, chat.
Not far enough, chat. Please have a seat. I'm told that you are in need of some services. Solomon and his siblings have done good work for me, and they said that you helped out their grandmother, yes?
Yes, they tell us you know of the crater.
Ha. Have a seat. Yes, I know of the crater. It was quite a sight when it was made. Or so I hear. What do you wish to know about the crater?
We have business there. We need to get there fairly quickly.
It's a difficult thing to do. Volkov has shut down the crater. Made it very difficult for anyone who is not a member of his pet army or in service of his pet monk to get in there.
We understand you're a man of many talents.
Flattery will get you everywhere. So, you wish transport then? Is that all?
Well, our Dino's friend here is
Information.
Actually, all of us have had visions, haven't we?
You have all had visions.
So, and it's been a little bit. So I will share the vision that I had, even though I don't remember it, and ask him if any piece of it sticks out to him, if he has, any of the topography, any of the symbolism.
So if you remember the in the vision, you heard a voice crying, "Behold!" And there was you were standing on the edge of this large crater that was very lush and filled with trees, and steam were rising up and mists were moving through there, and there was a large, like, a hole opened up in the center of this, and this darkness kind of escaped and consumed everything in the crater. I mean, your vision is... I would put stock in it. From what you described to me, it sounds exactly like the crater. Here's the thing to note about Tunguska and even your possibility wars. That war has been going on much longer than simply since day one. There are many things and mysteries in this world that have their roots in others. Perhaps Tunguska is one of those. Your friend here, she says she wants information. And seeing as I am no interpreter of dreams, nor do I have a couch that would facilitate such things, what information do you seek?
What do you know of the crater? And what do you know of the monks?
I assume you want information that is not readily available about the crater, such as when it struck, that sort of thing. What do I know about the monks?
Any information you think would help us?
Well, I can get you there. That is doable. I can possibly even get you there without Volkov knowing. But from what I understand, he has a large convoy heading that way, so if we're going to do this, we will need to move quickly. As for the monks, let's just say what I know of their founder is that he has always been interested in things not of this world. Founder is a loose term. The founder of their latest iteration. I do not think the monastery at Barakin and what is happening at the crater are unrelated. You know how things are when they hit the sky. Well, yes, the largest part comes down in the most spectacular fashion. Other pieces often break off and find their way into different impact points. My guess is that whatever they are doing in Barakin has its root in Tunguska. Or as the chat said I should pronounce it, Tunguska! That's right.
Have you been in the crater?
Have I been to the crater? Not in some time. It has been quite a long time since the last time I was there. I am sure it has healed since then.
Speaking of the monks, we've noticed some bleeding over of other cosms. Our vision seems to speak more of the living lands, the east-west. I'm not to the east.
Living Lens is to the west. Well, really, at this point, it's probably closer to the east.
There we go. That was the in my
Yeah,
brain.
no, I got you. I'm tracking.
Where am I? And when we were investigating the monks, there were hints of the cyber papacy. Have you heard of any other bleedings? Have you heard of any connections with these monks to other cosms?
I mean, you always hear rumors. Let's just say your Delphi Council is a little too effective and a little too... The novelty is starting to wear off. There are those, not from within the cosmos, but one of the things that I would have to say about those of us from Core Earth is we are nothing if not innovative. My guess is there are people who are moving up the ranks in the various High Lord organizations who have seen what the Delphi Council can accomplish. They're emulating. I have a counterpart in the West who's been very effective at this. A smuggler by the name of the Frenchman.
You're familiar with the Frenchman.
Then you know he recruits talent wherever he finds it. And while I do not expect a techno-demon to do the same, Volkov is one of ours. He's an ambitious man long before day one happened. If someone is looking for an advantage in this possibility war, Volkov would be the man I would expect to seek it out.
So if you're familiar with the Frenchman, are you familiar with one of his tools? That's not the right word. By the name of Lapis?
Kind of sets the cup down.
Assets?
Moves
There
it
we
over
go.
to the side. Why are you really here?
Revenge.
He kind of
No.
moves his neck about. Revenge, is it? I assume that would be because I was the one who brought the Lapis into Tharkold. Helped set her up with some of her crew. Is that what is going on here? A hit? Solomon, you think you can bring Storm Knights into my... And Solomon's
No,
like...
no.
And you can start to
No.
see, like, the table where he is touching it, like, the table is starting to
What?
char and smoke.
Was it your dim thread tree?
No. I have nothing to do with the dim thread trees.
Before, and I'll put my hands up, before things get out of hand, this is not a hit. We were sent to you as we were sent to the Frenchman because you have connections, you have ways around. Our issues with Lapis are not connected to you so far as we know. The only reason we're here is you were a means of getting to the crater.
Kind of picks up his hands, and there are two, like, smoldering handprints on the table. All right. Say I believe you. You want transport to the crater. What do you bring in trade?
I have some pieces of paper that I think you place value in, and I put them on the table.
The money you stole from Lapis's.
Yeah. As poetic justice, Lapis is paying for this.
That will get you there. And I will allow your pet to go with you. What about the two of you? What do you bring in trade?
I have a particular skill set. If there are things you need fixed or connected or disconnected.
You seemed awfully familiar when you spoke of the cyber papacy. And he kind of taps his face, his face where your eye would be. Do I take it that you are from there?
I've had dealings.
All right. Does your friend here, and he looks at you, Edith, have similar dealings?
I'm a monster hunter from Oroche.
And that means,
You got any monsters? I'll take care of them.
I mean, let us be honest. Darkhold is filled with monsters. But I do not tend to have issues
I had noticed.
with them.
Oh, side note, Jam, did we, in all of our deciphering of the Frenchman's ledgers, ever see any mention of the Deathless?
Give me a straight mind roll.
Okay. Ooh. Pardon me while I throw dice around.
Yeah, it's fine. Just toss those wherever you want them.
Ooh, okay. So that's a 19, so a 16.
A 16. Yes, you did see the Deathless in the ledgers. There were several deals kind of back and forth between the Deathless and the Frenchman.
Okay. Any indication that he might be in debt to the Frenchman?
Not that you recall from those ledgers.
Okay.
Have I heard of this guy palling around with Lapis in these parts?
That's another really good question. All right, why don't you give me a evidence analysis roll?
Evidence analysis. What's that from?
Mind.
Uh, 7.
Nope, never heard of the guy. Although you do you did not come through the Dimwold trees, if you remember, or you did not come through any sort of physical site. You were traveling by Dimwold tree. So, this seems to be from an earlier moment or point in time in Lapis's dealings. Now, before I forget, I actually, this is on me. We showed the cool art for Anton and Lady Salvo 3 weeks ago. We now have sweet art for Genevieve, Tyrannic, and Edith. Again, thanks to Simi of Doom. She did an amazing job with these pieces. You should follow her on Twitter and Instagram. She does take commissions. She does fantastic work. Most of the games I run, I try and get art from Simi. So you can see those now on the screen. Genevieve, Edith, and Tyrannic. So, oh yes, I have. Here's the thing. I have no love for the Kleist monks, and I have even less for the self-styled heir of Rasputin. I would like to know what he was doing in Moscow 3 weeks ago. There was a rather large explosion in the city. So, here's my deal to you. Your friend here has paid his way, and he pulls the money over to his side of the table. It comes to rest right between the two smoking handprints. You can find out that information for me. And I'm sure your friend Edith's monster hunting skills will be useful in the Cur. So this is my proposal.
Very well.
I send you and your friend into the Cur. You recover the information for me, and I will get you to the crater with no issues.
Since you have no love for these folks, we have the same enemies. Will you join us in our fight?
Your name was
Tyrannic.
Tyrannic. I did not receive the title the Deathless because I get involved in petty wars. I can keep a much longer term. Enemies come and go, but we are only granted one life.
Did Lapis actually set foot here?
Yes. When when Volkov first brought her up from the Nile Empire, where she was not conscious when she first arrived, but she spent several days in convalescence here. This is where Volkov recruited her.
Have you made sure that all of your things are where they are supposed to be? When we left the Frenchman, she had helped herself to some of his more prized possessions.
The ledgers. Yes, I might have told her what to take.
Oh, well, very wise.
It is not often that, let's just say he and I have a very friendly rivalry. Did you recover them for him?
Still working on it.
If you do, and he walks over to a writing desk, he kind of lifts the roll top, and you see him pull like an old fountain pen up and dab it in the ink, and he writes something. He spends several moments writing something, and he blots it, waves it, and hands it this thin piece of cardstock that is now covered in Cyrillic. Would you just put that in the ledger for me?
Will do.
It is no fun having a rival and pulling one over on them without counting coup. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't know much about rivalries personally.
Well, come with me. I have a place with which you can enter into the Cur.
Okay.
So he leads you down into sort of kind of heading down into the basement of this facility, and he leads you into a small room, and there are 6 chairs surrounding sort of a central pillar, and out of the pillar you can see there are several grid interfaces. The interfaces look like a wired helmet that kind of clamps down over like over someone's head, and you can see that 3 of the chairs are occupied, and there are little. So the helmets kind of sit over the head and the eyes of the user, and they seem to be more almost like blast helmets, like they're sensory deprivation helmets. You can't, they've got large baffles around the ears. They've got like a completely opaque eye visor, but you can see over each of the eyes and over each of the ears and at the temples and at the base of the helmet, there's a small cylinder that extends about 2 inches away from the surface of the helmet. And in each of these cylinders at the center, there's like a little silver disc. The 3 helmets that are currently hanging from the central pillar also have those same little pylons, but what you can see is those silver discs are retracted about 2 inches, and they're attached to like long, thin rods. And as you look very carefully at the people in the chairs, you can see a little bit of blood coming down from under the visor, a little bit of blood coming down from under each ear, and a little bit of blood trailing down the back of their neck. And there's also like a couple of like Pepsi Cola stickers that look like they're from the late 90s that someone's kid slapped on the side of them. Little garbage pail sticker. Garbage pail kid sticker? No? Okay.
No.
I see you, Restart.
Have we seen this before? Is this something that is?
You have not, and actually, so to V's eyes, they look like a grit, like a non-data jack, like what's something you would see from in like a very low-tech interface for the cyber payments. You have a data jack, and you know that works here. This looks like a very sort of, well, let's call it a brutal and violent way to access the internet.
Yeah,
it's like
not
Twitter.
really liking that.
Just
do I have a way to bring Edith with me that wouldn't involve her, getting stabbed with a bunch of electrodes and sharp objects and painful things?
Yeah, because past to that. Thank you.
Me too, if you're taking requests.
So here's the thing. You really don't. Like, do you have any extra data jacks? Do you have... I mean, you have your cyber deck.
Mm-hmm.
But really, you access it through your data jack.
Mm-hmm.
You could try and cobble something together if you wanted.
I don't like the way you use those words.
Well, so here's what I would say. If you want to try and design your
ominous
own...
DM speak.
Ominous DM speak. Cue the ominous DM music. If you wanted to try and build a less violent interface, we could always try dramatic task resolution for it.
He shuffles the deck ominously.
Wow, suddenly everything I do is ominous. JM wrote that down ominously.
It's your own fault.
I know you guys keep using it like it's supposed to be an insult, but all I hear are compliments.
Yeah, do these helmets even fit a pterodactyl and a dino?
They could. Remember, this is Tharkold tech. It can be made to fit.
Wow.
Which cyber deck do you have? No, not cyberpunk. Cyber tech.
Let me see. I have cyber deck. I have the cyber glide.
All right. All right. Do you want to try and adapt it with the materials that you can see here to, you know?
Sure.
It's up to you, Maddie. I will.
Yeah, no, I'll try because I don't really like the idea of my friends getting stabbed in the face. So,
We appreciate it.
right.
Yeah. And you have to pardon my living land sensibilities. Can we just, drive there? Why do we have to stab ourselves in the face?
All right. So, brought up by the chat. Thank you, chat. That your chats have your cyber deck, Maddie, does have temptrodes, which you can use to bring people as ride-alongs in the.
Okay, sweet. Thank you, chat.
Well done, chat.
Cool. Then I will do that.
Excellent. So, Tyrannic and Edith, you will not suffer one automatic wound by putting the helmet on.
Yay!
Turns out when the not so temptrodes penetrate your eyes, spine, and ears, it's really much better to go with temptrodes. Just gonna toss that out there. All right. So you will bring
PSA, kids.
You will bring me evidence of what happened in the warehouse during the explosion. And we will.
That wasn't the explosion we caused, was it?
No, if you remember, there was a previous explosion in that warehouse, and they were cleaning it up. The explosion that you caused was more caused because a rocket was shot at you, not because you set off anything.
Right. Okay. I just want to make sure, like, we weren't going into the car.
Didn't we blow up a door?
You guys have blown up a lot of stuff. It's actually hard for me to keep track of. In all fairness.
We've done a lot of things. Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna give them like a brief. This is what it's like to go into an alternate reality. Let me know what you want to look like on the other side now, because once we're
Remembering that we have.
Remembering you have what? Sorry, it cut out.
Oh, remembering that we have very low tech scores.
Right. So, like, okay, so how do I explain this? We're going to essentially go into what feels like a dream, but in this dream, anything that happens to you will translate to you. So, someone punches you in the face, you're going to wake up with a black eye. If you die in said dream,
Could you?
there we go. So we need to be very careful. We need to be sneaky. And it's best if you don't look like yourself. So, tell me now what you want to look like, because once we're there, I can't change how you look.
You guys have much to discuss, and come and see me when you have completed what I have asked for.
Will do.
How does this get us to the crater?
So, Edith and I don't have money, and so I'm offering him a service of gathering information. So,
I see.
the
Okay.
sooner we do this, the sooner we can go to the crater. So, if either of you do not wish to go, you are welcome to stay behind. But yeah.
Okay, I would like a bow tie, and you can turn me blue.
Perfect.
Okay.
Sometimes the GM just doesn't have any control over certain aspects. But so, which one of you is sparkling? That's all that I need to know.
Well, I'm going in as Tharkle Barbie.
I'm not sure that sparkling. Yeah, you can pick my disguise for me. I don't know. I don't understand this at all, and why I would not look like myself.
Right. Okay, so just so as I'm programming this into my cyber deck, I'm gonna make Tyrannic a few inches shorter. I'm gonna put on a little bit of a beer belly. I'm gonna make him blue and give him a bow tie. I'm thinking like stuffed dinosaur versus like actual ferocious Adinos. And then, I mean, think of this as like grown-up twisted Toy Story is how we're gonna go for this. So
Okay.
we're going as Tharkle Barbie, like black glitter, half melted, and then for Edith, let's see. Ooh, okay. So
Which one of you is carrying the virtual decanter of blood? By the way, that is something the chat has asked.
Edith, I'm going to make look like the most terrifying walking Cabbage Patch doll you've ever seen.
It's like a garbage pail kid.
Yeah. Like crossbow, scar across the eye, like yeah, just Toy Story on
And
very adult.
Tharkle
Mhm.
Barbie.
Mhm.
That is a great cross promotional thing. Just Tharkle Barbies now available in time for Christmas to terrify young children everywhere.
Yep.
All right, so as she's getting this all set up, one of the bodies screams, jerks several times, and then goes limp in the chair. And as you watch, each of the trodes kind of pops up, and the body just slides out and hits the floor. Its face just like a sheet of blood.
I asked B.
Does that always happen?
Yeah, is this usual?
So you remember when I got stuck the last time and Anton electrocuted me? That's what happens when you don't disconnect properly.
Yes.
I mean,
I'm still very sorry about that.
technically, Edith is the one who.
Oh, sorry. I nearly killed Anton. Edith zapped me. So you want to leave in the same manner which you entered. You don't want to try and leave by other ways, or that happens. So, yep.
All right.
Okay.
So are you guys kind of heading in?
Yep, let's do it.
All right. So,
Yep.
V, you set up your cyber deck. You see that two people about your size come in what look like well-used hazmat suits, and they start spraying the chair down and like squeegeeing it clean, and the other one starts dragging the dead hacker out of the room.
Yeah, I'm not gonna use the chair. Nope.
All right. So,
And can we leave Trannic? I don't want to speak for you or Peaches. Could we possibly leave Peaches on this side as a lookout?
Yeah, absolutely. Peaches knows the deal.
Okay, cool.
I mean, yes, you can. But if you're going in full virtual, like Peaches is like, I'm not trying to denigrate Peaches at all, Tyrannic, but at the end of the day, Peaches is still a pterodactyl, so it's not like Peaches is going to go to a keyboard and type out an SOS code for you or anything like that. Peaches will attack someone who attacks Tyrannic, but as a lookout.
So if we're in trouble, Peaches can't do much besides defend us.
Peaches can't do much but be Peaches.
All right. Fair
You
enough.
say that's a bad thing.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, don't expect Peaches to, like, yeah. Anywho. All right, so Genevieve sets up her cyber deck. It looks really strange to both Edith and Tyrannic. It's this small little thing that she always is carrying with her, and you see her attaching these very fragile little discs and wires to this thing. And Genevieve, you take some time to actually get them all set up and get them connected, and soon all of you are within the Cur. As you kind of make the transition, Tyrannic and Edith, it's weird. It feels like solid ground beneath you. You're not lying in the chair anymore. You're somehow somewhere else. You can hear wailing souls, like the wailing of the damned, kind of going on in the off in the distance. You seem to be under what seems to be some sort of overpass, but every so often, it looks like a almost like an aurora borealis passes over, and you swear you see like grid lines in the night sky, and then they just kind of dissolve and go back to the way they're supposed to be. You do hear the, as I said, the cries and wails of the damned. You hear roars of techno-demons. You feel as if, like, even just where you're at, you look, and almost immediately the road that you're standing on comes to an end and breaks apart into different paths, and behind you it looks like you're standing in a labyrinth. Say what you want about Peaches. He's no Dogathy. Just saying. Now, if you remember several weeks back when we talked about the Cur was originally created as a place to, instead of collecting information, It was designed by the techno demons specifically for aiding and recording all of the acts of evil that lives on after a demon perishes. So it's essentially an internet of suffering and records of all of the evil and the damned that the Tharkoldu have put out into their cosm. This is the record, but not just the record, but the memory of it. And it's somehow, much like the cyber papacy, the Godnet, it has replaced and subsumed Earth's internet in the same overlay, if that makes sense. So even as you watch, you can see two people running. They come into the path ahead of you. They come running, and as they make it past, you just see a flock of things with wings chasing them down. And their screams kind of echo down the corridors.
Welcome to the Cur.
You have strange dreams.
These are not my dreams. These are actually technically techno demon dreams. But we should get going. Jan,
Techno demons do not dream of electric sheep.
Okay. Can we get any kind of sense of what direction we need to head in?
You could definitely give me a computer's roll to try and discover that.
Okay. So without spending any possibility, that is currently a 15.
V, or need to the difficulty for the DN for this task was higher than 15. So would you like to spend a possibility, spend a card?
Yeah, I'll spend a hero card to add to that. Okay. So 13 and 11 is 24, which is plus 8. So that's 22.
22. And also, I need to just say to all of you, you guys have done a great job absorbing the Torg rules. There are a lot of moving pieces to Torg. You got your character sheet, you have the dice, you have perks, you've got when things explode, you have Cosm cards, you have drama cards and destiny cards, and I feel like everything has been really clicking and gelling for the last several sessions. So, like, just kudos to everyone. All right, Genevieve. You kind of send your senses out, and immediately, right, you're not an especially pious hacker in the Godnet, but there is a bit of rapture. There is a bit of elevation. There's a bit of epiphany whenever you connect to the Godnet, right? Everything's more vibrant. It's brighter. You may not agree with Melro, but there is something maybe addictive, maybe divine in the access of the Godnet. When you access the internet, I mean, it's really like going from high def to like a lo-fi version. Maybe it's fun, maybe it's useful, but you don't have that same emotional resonance with like you do with the Godnet. Here, as you try and get your bearings and kind of send out, sprites and your senses to get a bearing on the core, it is essentially as if someone took your brain out and dipped it in like filthy oil and battery acid. That's the sensation that being in the core is. It is as if this entire torment grid exists to punish and torture your kind. That is humans. But time and space don't really have a whole lot of meaning in the Cur. And with that roll, you are able to get a lock or at least a general direction to go to get the information that you need. You know that Volkov has, for whatever reasons exist in his cold black heart, the wolf has transferred much of his backup to the cur, almost as if he is trying to claim it in some way. And so, V and Tyrannic and Edith, you head out into the cur. Now, Genevieve, you do remember. Oh man, yep, I'm 100%. The chat is on fire tonight. Perhaps a Disco Inferno on fire. That was Mr. Furious. I agree with Restart. Have a possibility. Genevieve, do remember that getting out of the cur is not just as simple as it is. It is designed to make people get lost. So when you are ready to leave, there will be a dramatic skill resolution to try and get out. All right. But as you guys are heading,
anything we can do to like ping this location?
you can definitely try, but even you get the feeling, even as you're trying to locate this thing, that everything is there is relative position means nothing. But if you would like to make a computer's check with a heroic difficulty number, so an 18, I will make the tasks easier, like the DN for the task of getting out of the cur later. I will lower a bit.
So I need to hit an 18?
You do.
Okay.
Edith and Tyrannic, while you guys are standing there, what are you doing? I know you guys are out of your element, so...
Yeah, I will offer to V to use my rope if you want to tie it to here, and we'll just follow the rope back.
Have a possibility, Michael.
I
Okay. He thinks that's very helpful.
That's right. He is so helpful, and he's just like, I don't know where we're at, but you know what always helped me? Rope. Don't worry, Michael. When we go to the living land, you will be like, don't eat that, don't rub that, don't touch that.
Right. I think it's 50 feet of rope, so that's a pretty long rope. So, I don't know, probably helpful.
I used a possibility, but I got to 22.
All right. So, Genevieve, you think you have hidden a beacon well enough to help you come back to this location.
Okay.
Right, and just remember that things like relative and this have less concrete meaning. For you, this is the marker that will help you track yourself back out of the cur. You don't actually need to get back to this site. It's not like this site is the only exit out of the cur, but it will help you kind of form a link back along the path.
Okay.
Edith, what are you doing? Tyrannic's uncoiling his rope.
So, you said that V has a feeling, a very negative feeling in her brain.
Mm-hmm.
What do I feel, or see, or notice?
Well, what you definitely feel is, strangely enough, for all of the strangeness of the cur, the weird lighting, all of the screaming, the presence of technological monstrosities, this is the closest you felt to feeling home since that dim thread tree. Like, remember, Olrosh is not a happy place either. So, it's not the same.
I'm fully aware. I wondered if I was comfortable here.
Yeah. You kind of are like, yeah, I may not know what lives here, but I know the rules. That was your I don't know why you would have installed a pump action on your crossbow, but here we are.
For the noise. Obviously for the noise.
That's right. It is super intimidating. But go ahead and give me a straight mind roll, Edith, as we see what else kind of comes to mind. There are some really great ones in the chat, but
As she rolls, in my
9.
mind, it's still her crossbow, but it's like one of the little kid ones with the like plungers, suction cups.
that explode.
Mhm.
What'd you get, Edith?
A 9?
Do you want to spend anything on that? Base DN is always
Yeah.
10.
Yeah. 16?
Okay. So with a 16, you notice that for the most part, while there are techno demons here, they seem somehow more ethereal than they have in the presence, the times you have encountered them in Tharkol or in Core Earth. But even as you look around, you do notice that, all right, the marks on the walls keep changing. So it's not like you could follow any of the markings back. And there are presences that you kind of pick up on. There are entities that do not seem to be physical, if that makes sense. They seem to be part of either part of the landscape or just native to this environment. But what looks really strange to you is there seems to be kind of two types of humans that you see as you guys start wandering through the Kur. There are those that are definitely wailing and being tortured. And then there are those who seem to have, well, to Edith's mind, you would sort of refer to them as inmate privileges. Those ones who have buddied up with the guards and somehow have moved to, they're still lower than the techno demons, but they seem to be getting just as much enjoyment and just as much pleasure out of tormenting these other damned souls.
Don't like it.
I feel like I've been here before.
Is this just a typical Wednesday for you?
It might just be I'm comfortable with the screaming.
Nothing puts Edith to sleep faster than the wails of the damned.
Correct.
I feel like you and Malachi, a member of the B team, would get along swimmingly. All right, so following Edith's lead, you head in, or sorry, not Edith's lead, following Genevieve's lead.
Bee's lead.
You head into.
Edith is not going anywhere.
You head into the Kur, and V, as you get closer to this spot, like chills start to kind of go up and down the back of your spine. It starts to feel more and more familiar. And soon...
No.
What?
It's fine.
And soon you crest, you come around a corner in the labyrinth, and you swear that you come through this place 3 or 4 times, and every time you do, the configurations of exits have changed, but clearly those are Edith's boot prints. And seriously, how long is Tyrannic's rope? And why have we... It looks like you've come through this location like 3 or 4 times. The rope is extending into the wall. You find that bunker. The bunker that had... members of Lapis's previous team that were, being crucified and electrically tortured on top of it. And again, you see the imprint of the wolf kind of over what seems to be a crossed hammer and sickle. And this time, instead of a instead of Archibald, Peacock, Sergeant Afoot, and Speckles kind of stuck up there, who you see, it's really strange. You can see there's a Jack Wraith and 3 sort of, they look a bit like, they look like humans in black leather with spikes and chains attached into their skin, but they have no eyes. You just see data scrolling through their eyes. And they are torturing what seems to be a techno-demon on one of these crosses.
Is it the same techno demon I put the helmet on?
You can't tell from here.
Okay.
But all of your software, all of your programs that you send racing through the Kerr that have returned, they're telling you this is one of Volkov's data banks. You can get in there, you'll have access to everything that you need.
Okay. I'll pull the group aside. I'll tell them.
You see
we
one of
somehow
those
need-
guys in what seems to be the black leather that holds up his hand, and its hand morphs into a buzz saw, and it just kind of flences up the side of the techno demon, which screams, and the flesh hits the ground and sort of pixelates and dissolves.
Your body horror is. You need to bleed that off at some point.
I did just watch the entire. Never mind.
I'll pull the group aside and I'll explain. We somehow need to get into that bunker, unseen. That's where the information we need is. However, and I'll gesture to what's going on. There's that.
How do we get in unseen?
So here, again, she takes a second to try and formulate a thought. So unlike your dreams where you kind of jump cut and you're suddenly in the building, this dream works more like reality. So we can either sneak in or cause a diversion or blow something up, but just remembering any damage we do to these Toy Story horror images of ourselves, we are actually taking damage in our real bodies.
Yeah.
So however you would sneak into this in the real world, we can attempt the same in the dream world.
I love Genevieve's explanation of immersive VR reality to someone from essentially the 1800s and the Living Lands. This is
All right. Well, this is your rodeo.
Can we figure out who's in charge of the torturers?
you can
Yeah.
definitely. It looks like what Genevieve would know as a Jack Wraith. And yes, the chat, I'm 100% on board with that. Maddie, please take a possibility for such a great in-character explanation of the Kerr and higher technology to, that I think really, explains what's going on in kind of concepts that fit the axioms they are from. So... All right, so it's very clear to you, at least locally, Genevieve, that when Edith asks who's in charge, the Jack Wraith is in charge. You encountered one of these things before, and it was not pleasant.
Yeah, that one, not the one holding the chainsaw, the one telling them what to do with the spinning blades. That one's in charge.
Is there? I mean, you've sometimes hacked radios or videos or something. Is there a way to communicate with it where it won't see us?
Ooh. I don't know. Can you hack someone who's in the cur?
It would be an attack.
Okay. I mean, I can try. It would kind of register as me just walking up and punching him.
Okay, well that.
Well, no. I mean, you could spoof
Not
signals.
as
You could
stealthy as
try,
one might hope.
but it would be an offensive action. So if it doesn't work, even if it does work, they're gonna know. Well, it depends on what you try to do. But if it doesn't work, they're definitely going to know somebody was trying something.
Okay. What were you thinking, Edith?
Well, I mean, so we need to get in there without them seeing us. So the best way to do that is to get them out of there, and have them go somewhere else. I mean, we can also stage a distraction. Like Tyrannic and I can go make noise somewhere else, but that's going to draw attention.
Right. Are there cur fire alarms?
Not really. Not so much here. Mainly because I mean, the techno demons set people on fire all the time in the cur, and it's sort of a feature, not a bug. So it's not so much a fire alarm, but a, hey, we set someone on fire alarm, everyone get over here and watch.
What about like security doors?
There is a door on the outside of this, because remember, you're in a labyrinth, but this kind of opens up to like a piece of barren ground, and there is a security door set into the side of the bunker.
So this is happening on the outside of the bunker, and we just need to somehow get around them into the bunker. So we either need a diversion over that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Does anybody have explosives?
I do not.
Thus
have
spake Tyrannic
a UV
and
bolt.
the chat. This is true. Edith does have explosive bolts.
So you're thinking like we sneak around one side and we blow something up on the other side?
Yeah, that's a good diversion in my book.
I'm okay with it. Edith, are you comfortable with that?
Sure.
All right.
All right. So those of you
Listen,
who
we've
are...
established Edith is not great with technology, so I'm not convinced that she believes you when you say that something will happen to her in the real world.
All right.
I mean, yeah.
All right. So Tyrannic and Genevieve, I'm going to need stealth rolls from you. Edith, what do you want to try and blow up?
Are there cameras or anything that's monitoring this area? So like if I blew something up that was monitoring, it would draw people over in that direction?
Give me a find roll as you look around to see kind of what the best thing to blow up is.
Uh, 14?
I mean, there's not a whole lot in the area. Obviously, you could try and blow up the Techno Demon, or one of the wraiths or wailing spirits. Sorry, the torture routines. You could with a 14, do you have anything you can spend to get a little higher? Say if the DN
Yep.
was 16?
I was gonna say, if you need to, I can give you a drama to give you a possibility. Or
I have a
I
I
could
have a
give you
hero card.
Oh, sweet. I was like, I could also give you my flurry, so you could take 2 actions if need be.
I have a hero card. 18.
18 is good enough. You do see that there is a monitoring node. It takes you a while to kind of actually figure out what it is, but it definitely looks like somebody pinned a fleshy sack that has a pair of eyes on it that's kind of just twitching around. I promise you will leave Thard cold at some point, Maddie, and you'll get to go to Paradise Cosm.
When he says you'll get to leave, he means he's going to murder us all.
And the Paradise Cosm is character heaven.
We'll be in the beyond.
Yes, a simple beach episode.
Beach episode.
All right, Genevieve
Fort
and
Cities.
Tyrannic, what did you get on your stealth checks?
Oh, 19.
Okay.
18.
Wow. All right. And Edith, go ahead and give me a crossbow shooting thing roll.
Shooting things roll.
Yeah, give me a shooting things roll.
Good, terrifying Cabbage Patch doll.
12.
All right, you hit this thing, and it definitely goes boom. And I know it's the cur, and I do know that it is filled with techno demons, but all hell breaks loose. You can see that this giant pillar of winged creatures comes shooting out from the labyrinth somewhere else. And the Jack Wraith and the people in the black leather suits all turn to look at that area as Genevieve and Tyrannic go running. I need a stealth check from you, Edith, to see if you get in quickly as well, or if that pillar of winged creatures sort of descends on top of you. I would recommend spending possibility.
It's okay. I rolled a 20.
Curse you and your good dice at the moment of truth.
I got a 20.
You got a total of 20, so you're even sneakier than the other two.
I am sneaking up behind them.
Yes. You two are terrified as Edith just emerges from the chaos. So the Jack Wraith and Kadra move off. You stand before the door again. Wolf symbol. Again, sprayed over what looks to be sort of remnant Soviet era iconography, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And there are blood stains kind of coming down from the sloped walls that lead up to the crucifixes. Genevieve, there's a simple keypad on the door. Do you have lockpicking? All right, give me a lockpicking roll.
I don't like how you say there's a simple lock.
At this point, I could have
I think that was to
said
indicate
there's a fluffy
difficulty.
bunny with a daisy in its mouth standing right next to you, and you'd be like, I don't trust it.
Yeah, I'm gonna use a possibility on that because I rolled a 5. Okay,
Whoops.
so
Tahiti is a magical place, Mr. Furious.
12.
A 12, so the keypad pops open, the doors slowly slide, and you can see lights kind of flicker on, and it looks as if the walls are lined with filing cabinets, kind of built right into the concrete of the bunker. But that's when you hear it. You hear it over the roar of all of the commotion that Edith caused. You hear from above, "Help me. please. As the Techno Demon calls down to you for aid. That's where we will pause for tonight, and we will pick up again. We will wrap up this separate arc. Maybe you guys can get the information and get to the crater before the end of the year. But, chat, you are on fire tonight. Like, seriously, I love that you guys are so invested in the story, that you're helping out the players, you're helping me out, giving us good rules advice, giving good callbacks. I know that all of my players take great notes, but sometimes it's hard to access them in the moment, so I appreciate all of that. V, Edith, Tyrannic, I am so looking forward to playing with you guys next week and seeing what happens here. You guys have fun tonight? Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Again, a huge thank you to Simi of Doom for the great character art. It is fantastic, and we love it. Please, if you think of it, go follow her on Twitter or on Instagram. She does great work. Check out all the other great shows on the Ulysses International channel. You know the spiel. Heretical Musings, one of my favorite shows with Bill of Fading Suns. The Ulysses World Show, which just talks about all of the great new games and products. Thank you to Ulysses for allowing us to do this and share our love of Torg with you guys. We will be back on Thursday with more Fading Suns, and then next week will be the last Torg episode of 2020, and I'm looking forward to it. Chat, as always, thank you so much. Thank you again to our producers, JD, and our moderator, Phantom of Truth. You guys are spectacular. And we will see you in 1 week. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, stay gaming.